2047, when India becomes Viksit Bharat, our revenue will be 32 trillion, population 1.69, per capita income will be $21,000.
It's like getting independence after 50 years.
I feel that we should preserve our heritage, whether it is the art like you spoke about earlier, whether it is the culture that Bengal has.
राइट एंड तो अगले 10 साल या 20 साल में अगर वो एक ऐसी क्या चीज़ है जो यू विल नॉट लाइक इट कि अगर वो नहीं बदलती है.
Thank you, Ratna. So before we start today's 2026. I think Tega industry was started in 1976, almost 50 years back. You complete 50 years today. So 50 years this year. So can you have a big round of applause to Mr. Mohanka ji, please? Can I ask you to say a couple of words before we start the fireside chat? Can I? Yeah, please.
In Bengal, we have to create million billionaire to show what we can do. In 2047, when India becomes Viksit Bharat, our revenue will be 32 trillion, population 1.69, per capita income will be $21,000, rupee to dollar will be 192, so it will be 42 lakhs per capita income. This income cannot be created by people who are job seeker. We have to create job creators in Bengal. The only way we can do it to sensitize and ignite their mind when they are in the school, that they have to go for enterprise, not look for a job. And that can be done only by creating entrepreneurship education in the school by case method of teaching, which I learned at Ahmedabad. I believe that is the best way to teach in business enterprise. We need to do that. We need to create a change in the banking system that they get the loan without collateral security. They are likely to fail in the first venture. They should not be branded as a failure. They should be treated as a hero because they had the courage to take an enterprise rather than look for a job. Second loan must be given to them immediately. So we need to get that infrastructure. In order that they can raise loan from the bank, Government of Bengal has to create a large amount of money as a risk capital for them. Women will have to be taken into consideration. 50% are women and 50% are the people in the Bengal are children of women. So they are most important. We need to create working atmosphere in corporate world as well as in the plant for them to be absorbed in a safe working condition. We need to focus on small scale industries and other. There is a case which has been done by IIM Calcutta where they took one lady near Bolpur. She had a small turnover. Now in about 5 years, she has reached a turnover of more than 1 crore. And she had an exhibition in Paris, only Kasa work. So we have to identify such people in Bengal, encourage them to grow big and create a wealth across the state, not only in few areas of plant. MSME has the great strength of encouraging wealth, but the only problem is they lack courage and they don't scale up. They are all in Bengal. We need to create an education center in each block, not in each district, to educate them to take risk, go pan-India and go global. We need to also have big industries. For that, we have to have clearance in one window, create atmosphere for conducive for the large industries to grow, whatever is required. I think Bengal can become the largest hub in the world for building wagon and railway coaches. In the world, not in India. With the kind of people that we have. Both the staff are sitting on my left. For the tourism, the government should create infrastructure for giving micro loan to people for homestay in hilly areas and forest so that people can go and encourage that. So there is a big scope in the country, in Bengal I'm sorry, to create big wealth by making some ecosystem which will help them to grow. Thank you.
Thank you. So I have to ask the first question to Ms. Sarda because you're sitting right next to me. You almost employ 150,000 people. That makes you one of the biggest employers in the state. Yeah, so, Mr. Again, this question I asked in the last panel as well. I want to know what would you, there's a big tectonic shift in terms of government, right? We had a conversation about that today morning. What is it that you expect in the next 10, 20 years? Is it going to be for good, better? Be as candid.
No, there is no looking back. It will certainly be not only better, but I think we are looking at a very different scenario now. A lot of positivity, and as somebody earlier said, that we are, I would say it is not 15 years, I think it is 50 years of freedom now we have got. And of course it will happen, this will happen with complete participation of the government, with industrial houses and young entrepreneur. So that's going to make the change. We have all kind of infrastructure, the best infrastructure. We have got rail, water, power, and the best thing is skilled, talented workers, unskilled workers, which is very, very scarce today. I think every industrial person, houses will agree. There's a big shortage, but in Bengal we are still not facing that. So given all these things, I feel this, we will not, we are talking about the legacy. Bengal has been always known by its legacy, but this decade will be known what Bengal can become.
Great. I think the next question I want to ask to Atul. Atulji, you are quite opposite of whatever they've said. You studied outside and you've come back to India and Kolkata, right? You studied in Wharton, and was it in alignment to your expectation in terms of what has happened and what you would expect in the next 10, 20 years?
First of all, thank you for inviting us on the panel and a very good show today. So I think that last 40 years has almost been a washout for the eastern part of the country. And the next 10 to 20 years will present a very large opportunity because Eastern India is very blessed with good mineral resources, quite close to the port, so good port connectivity. You have seen public sector capex not being that very high. We do have two major line of businesses, infrastructure and healthcare, and both are very under-invested sectors for the eastern part of the country. Having said that, the last decade, I would say, a lot of the public capex has been happening in this region, and we are quite hopeful that the next 10 to 20 years will be a big boon, given that there's a change in the thought process of the government. And we expect that it'll be very good for industries like us, both for the infrastructure and healthcare. And we have a lot of projects in the state, in the eastern part of the country, also in eastern Uttar Pradesh and otherwise as well. So these are, this is a geography which has been very abysmal, I would say, in terms of investments. And I'm sure that there are many entrepreneurs in this room, outside this room, who are waiting for newer opportunities to invest in.
Yeah, you think it'll be better?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be much better.
Okay.
Good. In fact, I would kind of, pick it up from there, Atulji, and I would.
You've got a mic up.
Check.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So in fact, I'm going to pick it up from there, Atulji, and I think you went out, studied globally, and came back, right? But we've seen a lot of youngsters who've left the city and the state in the last, 2 odd decades, and I think, I will ask Saroj and Chowdhary to kind of comment on saying, while we're talking about that, the change in the government, potentially there may be a lot of opportunity, but there was opportunity here in terms of our industries. How do we ensure that we stop this outflow of talent, especially जो हमारे बच्चे हैं घर के जो बाहर जाना चाहते हैं, नई चीज़ें करना चाहते हैं, वो हम यहाँ कैसे ला सकते हैं? एंड जो बाहर ऑलरेडी चले गए, जैसे मैं 20 साल पहले छोड़ के चला गया था, right? हम कैसे वापस आए? हमारे लिए क्या opportunity?
How could you have stopped product from going out?
Let me start by congratulating
Thank you.
Mr. Junaid to you, because the program that you started, I think the positivity about West Bengal and East India was visible in the Neo presentation.
Yeah.
Because each one of them was so positive, one to the extent of saying it's like getting independence after 50 years. Now imagine this statement has such a depth. This shows, you raise the question of people. You see, why are people moving out? Because the environment was not positive. And now we do believe the environment is very positive. When we talk of Bengal, we are not talking of geography. We are talking of a region which has been the backbone of Indian industry. When the British came, they started their businesses from Bengal. Most Indian business houses were established in Bengal. It's a different matter that over time things have changed, and you have, as you showed in the number of billionaires, much more billionaires outside. But I have no doubt that we are moving towards an era where you will see the growth of billionaires in this region significantly higher. And this is because of the economic advantages that Bengal offers. And more so 50 years, no development. So the opportunity is huge. I can certainly tell you, if I look at all my businesses, we have significant commitments for Bengal. We have already discussed with the finance minister and the chief secretary, and we are committed to investing at least 5,000 crores, if not more.
Amazing.
We are very clear. We have started a new wagon factory, which hopefully the chief minister will inaugurate later part of the year. And although the demand for wagons is currently a little slow, we believe that looking at India's economic growth, the economy is so strong and will continue to grow that the demand has to rise. So our confidence on Bengal, on Viksit Bharat is very strong, and we are very clear that the business will grow and Bengal will grow. And we, the businessmen from Calcutta, are now more confident than ever to invest in Bengal. And I think that is where the
Would you like to add something?
Sir, आपकी क्या राय है?
I'll present a slightly different point of view here.
Very good, very much required.
Bengal was never bad. It went bad for some period, starting from 1964 onwards. Till 1964, Calcutta was the best city in the country for business. Things happened. I started my business with a paid-up capital of 1 lakh of rupees. That was all that I had in the bank. And within the disturbed atmosphere of Bengal, we could take the valuation up to 20,000 crores market cap.
Wow.
So, what is important is that we should realize that Bengal is not intrinsically bad. It became bad because of some leftist influence and some undesirable influence, Naxalites and other things. But that thing having cleared, we should now look forward to Bengal of a future, which is a very bright Bengal. And that's what Mr. Poddar also said, that he is prepared to invest so much money in Bengal. So are we. We are setting up a shipyard. We are setting up a manufacturing plant. Of course, that one in Chennai. But more investment will come, and we all feel very confident about Bengal. The situation is changing. The Bay of Bengal will be the zone of the future. And we all want to take advantage of that. So I would say that Bengal has a good future, and we should look at it with optimism. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, in fact, I would ask you a follow-on question on that, right? In saying that typically Bengal or Calcutta has looked at a very hard skills industry, right? Manufacturing, engineering. But a lot of children today, or the youngsters today, are wanting to look at a lot of soft skills industry, services, AI, tech-based. How do we kind of bridge that gap, right? Where a lot of cities in India have moved forward quite a bit in the last few years. How do you think we can kind of build that infrastructure and opportunity here in the country, in the state and the city?
You see, as far as my group is concerned, I can certainly with pleasure announce that we have already launched an AI company, Inveris AI, and that is headed by very eminent professionals. So we do believe we will take that to a new level.
Okay.
We've also started a GCC where we are bringing in foreign technology being developed in India for Indian business. So we are already in that space and we are moving towards that direction. Because you see, what is important, it's very easy to decide what to do, but it is equally very easy to decide what not to do. This is where the substance is. And I do believe we have a great future ahead, and we are very, very confident that we will continue to grow in all aspects and all areas that you mentioned. We have started business on defense. My group is already present in defense, and we are starting 2 new ventures on defense, on exclusive technology that India does not possess.
Wow. Mr. Mohanka, if I were to continue that conversation, right, what would be one of the 2 things that you would focus on if you have to, if you were young, imagine you were young and you were starting afresh, you're still young, but 84 years young, and what would be the 1 or 2 things that you would focus on now if you were to build everything ground up again?
When I took the decision of Tega, it was a technology 20 years ahead of the country.
Yeah.
And I took the decision. You asked me why. Somebody who want to go to Mount Everest, he writes a note of death for himself. Why he does that, I don't know. So I took establishing Tega in 76, when this technology was not known in the country. I went through all the difficulties. Today we have a great success. In our line of business, we are number 1 in the world. Our turnover is 16,000 crore. We have 23 plants outside India in 10 countries. We employ 2,400 foreigners of 20 different nationalities.
Wow.
And 99% of our business is out of India. Only 1% in India.
Thanks.
When people ask me, how did you build out of Kolkata? I say, we only knew how to handle people of Calcutta. We get the brightest engineer in Calcutta. Our company is a highly technological company which embraces 3 technologies: mechanical engineering, mineral processing, and tribology to give the solution to customer. And we are very successful. So we just have to handle people very carefully and closely, that's all. So anything that comes, we will continue to grow in our own line of business anywhere in the world, keeping the headquarters in Kolkata. Once I told, in the mining world, Calcutta would be known by Tega.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. And Ms. Sarda, you have a unique distinction of running your own business, and you basically came to, you started the jute side of the business, right? You acquired a lot of sick units, then you converted it. It was so difficult, labor unions, such a difficult journey for you at that point in time, right? And now you're also very actively involved in smart works, which is another side of spectrum. It's run by Harsh and Nitish, but that's also doing extremely well, which hosts some of the most cutting edge companies across the world. So you're already traveling many steps forward. So what would you do now if you were to, again, the same scenario, you come back, you have to acquire a few companies, build something up, what would you do?
See, one thing, I would like to reborn in this positivity, because we have faced a lot of negativity earlier. So, another thing, back those days, I learned one thing from my father, that business or industry might change, but the principles of business will not change.
Yeah.
So carrying that legacy, when I started with my Jew industry, people were going out, a lot of exits were happening, all the big industrial houses were leaving Bengal, and that time we see the possibility. And naturally, when there is a vacuum, there is place for entering. So vacuum was created. We took over 6 jute mills, but the problem I faced earlier was not acquiring the 6 jute mills, but creating the trust of those 50,000 workers and about 2 lakh people of the family members, creating trust that, look, these industrial houses will not run away, the industry will not close. And that created a kind of different scenario in jewelry industry. From there we took off. Now moving on, we went to New Year's business, and now as Mr. Poddar said, this global capability center, and that had been a boom in this flexible space. Almost out of top 1,000 multinationals in the world, almost 400 multinationals are sitting in the infrastructure we are providing to them in commercial space.
Oh, that's very cool. Yeah.
Now, India is emerging as a global capital of the world. Its financial global capital already now established. And there I am telling you, there is a scope of Bengal, because Bengal has intellectual capital. Bengal has intelligence. And the AI is an opportunity for Bengal, because AI has to be built, has to be maintained. We talk of AI, that it will take job, but you remember, go back to the days when the software and hardware came into banking industry, there were a lot of strikes. Bengal almost went on for closure for months together. All the banks were closed. But eventually now what happened, we can't think of a bank without IT, without hardware, without software. Same thing is going to happen in AI, we can see that. And India will be the place, and Bengal can take advantage of this. Now getting lead of the global capability center which are going to open. Mr. Poddar just now said, there are 1,800 global capability center already. Companies like Deloitte, they're employing 10,000 people. So this place can become a kettle for this kind of industry. And we can see that in our company Smart Work, we have almost 200,000 people sitting every day. And still there is demand for the space, for the infrastructure. Of course, you have to create that atmosphere. You have to give that positive atmosphere, give that infrastructure which the international companies need. And I find that Bengal is the right place. Only thing, things start taking shape now. And we are hopeful that in another maybe 2, 3 months, 4 months, things will come up.
I just want to ask one question to Atul. Mr. Atulji, your job is, most of the people don't know what after you've constructed bridges, they don't know, they don't have a name, they don't know that it's you who've done it. And people say that bridges makes a nation. You know, it is very much vital for any country or any region to expand. So you're going to play a very crucial role in the next 10, 20 years. How do you see this liminality of the eastern region through whatever you've been doing before and what's going to happen next?
So for us, actually, we believe in solving hard engineering problems timely and in a disciplined manner. And we are very humbled by the fact that many of the central government, many state governments, as well as PSUs have entrusted us with that responsibility. We don't believe in that visibility, that whether we are recognized for that bridge or not, like you said, but we believe that we should have an impact on the society, whatever projects that we do deliver. Certain projects that we have done for the bridges especially, wherein people who are taking more than 2 to 3 hours to travel from town A to town B, after the bridge is completed, it's reduced by almost 80–90%. So that improves the quality of life of people, saves on fuel, environment, a lot of other incidental advantages are there. And obviously, we have to become, we have to deliver returns for the stakeholders, become a good corporate citizen, whether in both our businesses, whether healthcare as well as infrastructure, wherein we are doing fabulous work in terms of clinical outcomes for our patients and providing them with the latest technology that is available in the market for them.
Okay. And
no, in fact, you know, I think picking up from there, I think, look, Bengal and Calcutta has been through a lot in the last many years, right? And suddenly I'm seeing this conversation of positivity, ray of hope, you know, betterment, etc., right? And I think all of you stalwarts in the industry, in the city, have seen everything in all these years. right? Been part of it and you know, kind of endured and yet kind of build the enterprises and the institutions that you'll have built. My question to each one of you is, what is it, that one thing that you will be not happy about if things did not change in the next 10 years, right? Because when we're talking about positivity and you know, a ray of hope, it comes with fundamental and foundational expectation कि अच्छा चलो ये अच्छा होगा या ये बदलेगा, right? And तो अगले 10 साल या 20 साल में अगर वो एक ऐसी क्या चीज़ है जो you will not like it कि अगर वो नहीं बदलती है.
साहब मैं बता रहा हूँ आपको कि what we'll not like for 20 years is one, syndicate raj has to go और सिक्योरिटी होनी चाहिए. बिजनेसमैन अपनी अपॉर्चुनिटी खुद ढूंढ लेता है, उसको कोई की जरूरत नहीं है. व्हाट वी नीड इज ओनली सिक्योरिटी, और वो हम लोग को लग रहा है कि अब आ गई है. जो पहले हो रहा था यहाँ पर, एक सर्कस होती थी हर साल, उस सर्कस में ओवरसीज ट्रिप हो रही थी, सम्मेलन हो रहे थे, अनरियलिस्टिक अनाउंसमेंट्स हो रहे थे. एंड उस समय भी, उस एडवर्सिटी में भी, जबकि गवर्नमेंट 50 साल से फ्रेंडली नहीं थी, फिर भी बिजनेसमैन सर्वाइव किया यहाँ का.
बिल्कुल.
तो क्रेडिट देनी चाहिए सही पे इन एल्डर्स को जो 50 साल से कमाया है. एंड आई वुड लाइक कि आप सब लोग ताली बजाएं इनके लिए. और फ्लैग को रखिए जिंदा यहाँ पर. सबसे जरूरी एक ही चीज चाहिए, वो मिलने से बिजनेसमैन अपने आप निकालेगा. जितने हाउस बैठे हुए हैं यहाँ पर, ये सब इस यूनिवर्सिटी में काम किए हैं, यूनिवर्सिटीज में, वो फिर भी सर्वाइव किए, आगे बढ़े हैं. ये फिगर जो बता रहे हैं 5,83,000 का, बिग नंबर्स. You can't even imagine government. I could have imagined कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ वेस्ट बंगाल ऐसी हालत में भी इतना बड़ा काम यहाँ पर हुआ है, तो आप सोचिए अब आगे कितना बड़ा होगा. So we are really looking at a great time here.
Saroj?
The one thing I think I will miss in Bengal, unless it happens, is the feeling of confidence in the local people. Generally, Bengal needs a leader who can tell them that they are a great race and they will go up. There is a certain degree of despondency in the population which should go away. And it's going away, that's a good thing, but it should go away at a faster pace.
I would certainly say that, you see, business expects government policy to be right. The confidence today that you see is because we genuinely believe that this government is committed to deliver, and they will deliver. Okay. And once they deliver, we will certainly perform. I have no doubt. सामने चीफ सेक्रेटरी साहब बैठे, इनसे भी मेरी मुलाकात हुई और इनको भी मैंने एश्योरेंस दिया था कि आप देखिए, मेरा एक काम था यहाँ पे जो लास्ट 7 साल से पेंडिंग था, अब हो गया. पिछली सरकार ने ही अप्रूव कर दिया, पर उनका काम 7 साल बाद जाके कंप्लीट हुआ, जो हो जाना चाहिए था 1 साल में. तो ये सब डिलेज के कारण इन्वेस्टमेंट स्लगिश रहा. पर मैं डेफिनेटली आशा करता हूँ कि आगे जाके ये सरकार बहुत कॉन्शियस है. चीफ सेक्रेटरी साहब ने कहा कि मैंने तो आते 100 कितने आरोपी अप्रूव कर दिया. तो हम बोले देखिए, ये आप कर दिए पुराने सिचुएशन में, तो हमारा एक आरोपी 7 साल भी नहीं.
Madan ji.
Since most of our business is out of India, as I said, 99% business is out of India. But what we have is the core strength and infrastructure in Kolkata, which we employ about 1,000 people, and 2 plants which we started 50 years before. We are one of the only company, to best of my knowledge, that don't have any union. We have been able to manage very sympathetically with the people, and we have no union at all. So anytime we have a rule, we look at the people first, then we make a rule. And at times I break the rule also for humanity. That has allowed me to continue the company with them. And we find a very bright engineer in this town or in this state, which help us to generate new technology, new setup, and we are now using AI to improve our technology. And being in the mining and mineral processing industry, our scope is very big. We have only touched about 14-15% market share in the world. So we have enough scope to grow from Kolkata and spread out with this throughout the world.
Atulji.
So I think that what I would regret if we do not do in the next 10 to 20 years is, obviously everyone is quite positive in the room, and I also sincerely do hope that we will have a positive growth and things for the businesses will pan out very well. But at the same time, I feel that we should preserve our heritage, whether it is the art like you spoke about earlier, whether it is the culture that Bengal has. You have the famous Durga Puja, which is recognized by the UNESCO also. So those kind of things should be preserved. They should not lose the way in terms of AI and digital technology, etc.
Very well said. On that, a big round of applause to the panelists, please. Thank you.